Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Wise Man in here, Chris coming in, Miguel, Seth, and Sanjog. Wow, very cool stuff today as we end up going to the downside. This is the door that I really didn't want to be open. And the reason you probably heard me pausing was just because the way that we actually see this thing head higher is we're able to make some kind of new high here. And as we weren't able to do that, we start to open up the door to down here. If we would have made this like new high and set this little trap right in here on your MACD and RSI, showing that divergence before, that actually would have been a better case for the market. We could have set some kind of trap to the upside with the divergence and then seen that 2-hour pullback, and it wouldn't have looked as scary, right? If we would have seen something like this would be a lot better to head to the upside than seeing something like this right now, starting that downtrend. So this is really why we are paying attention to here, and I might have beat it like with beat it up pretty good for you in the video because I just kept saying it, and that's because there is risk here if you break down to those lower levels of breaking down again, right? We don't want to see that. So what you want to see from today is you want to see that high taken out. We need this high taken out if you want the bullishness to overall continue. And that's how it's going to go until we maybe see something with FOMC tomorrow or see how this bounces throughout the day. But right now, you're reacting perfectly down to this level where you can get some kind of bounce and roll. And that would be how you end up at lower levels. So we'll be paying attention. Thank you guys for joining us today. We have the daily expected moves down in the bottom right corner for the SPY, the SPX, and the QQQs. And we see that volatility has turned up on the 30-minute. Now, something about volatility here is it's relatively controlled at this moment. We'll see if it gets uncontrolled soon. But that's how we see it for the time being. 2-hour trying to go positive, right? So if the 2 hours trying to go positive now, that means we need to see some kind of bounce in the morning, or else we might be testing that 550. I guess it would be tomorrow, maybe even before the FOMC. We do notice that the dollar dropped off one more time. We noticed that the 10-year yield able to make some small reversal signals, but overall looking like it wants to curl up on the daily chart. This most likely will be affected by the FOMC tomorrow. And then we can see that TLT has just been dropping off, right? Just been dropping off lately. So we'll be paying attention to if we need to revisit those lows because you did open the door to that with the rejection from yesterday. You did leave the door open to seeing something like this happen, or at least for now, something like this to happen, and then we can pay attention to structure if that is breaking down over time. That would be unexpected by the options market for the time being, which means for us, the more likely thing, right? Now that we've gone over something to be aware of, we want to go over the more likely thing. The more likely thing is if we are going to do all of this today, then you are going to see some support come in at 550 to 551.60. That would be fantastic. That is on the estimation that we would be seeing more downside after some kind of bounce maybe in the morning, kind of like we did here. So this is what we would see if we're going to do the most likely thing for the time being, right? 2-hour pullback down to the weekly expected move. If we're going to see something different, well, we need to be paying attention to the 30-minute time frame today anyway. Why? Because we're paying attention to, hey, big gap down. Does it roll back up and confirm back down after retesting here? That would be kind of a big deal. So fill that gap and see what happens. But if you're able to see a strength kind of move and take out that high and take out this one, that would be probably the best case scenario for bulls at this time is you make a new high, you see a sell-off with FOMC, then you actually head to the upside. I think that would be the best case scenario for bulls at this point. Bro, downside is good, downside is better. We need a massive downturn. That way we can buy for long term. Oh, I'm down, Samuel. Like I said, I don't assume that's the moment right now with where we're at with price. Right? That is my ultimate thing that I want to happen. Why do you think I have so much cash on the side and the only thing I'm holding right now is Target? Like, of course, that is exactly what I want to happen. And I think it will happen in due time. But do I see it happening right now with everything I've seen from the 2-hour, from the 30-minute, from the daily time frame? Not necessarily, not until it's disproven, right? For now, you're positive on the MACD. For now, you're figuring out what's going on in here. We could move sideways. We talked about that. We see stocks moving sideways, right? You have stocks that are moving sideways because they're at key levels as well. You have NVIDIA that moves sideways, probably distributed down today. Okay, so we're going down today. Yeah, we haven't even lost this level here. We haven't lost the 5-day, but this means NVIDIA is open to seeing something like this, right? But this was still an overall good thing to try to do, and you're still kind of at that level now, right? You're just getting back into that gap support. Let's turn on the thing here. It's the watermark. So I want that to happen. Like, don't think that I don't want that to happen. Now, the only reason I wouldn't want that to happen is because it puts a lot of people out of work and things like that, right? The humanitarian side of me goes, oh, man. I don't, but in tune, you would say, well, years down the line, all of this stuff coming tumbling down can build up better later. Gold is kind of winding up, isn't it? Gold is kind of winding up right now, and it's really starting to explode. So we'll see what happens with gold. Once again, this could be people reading into things, right? The price action from the SPY, the price action from the dollar, we don't necessarily see this right now as something absolutely awful, right? You don't see enough of those signs. You really don't. The SPY is just at a great level. If it turns down, yeah, it can go down and make a higher low now, right? We're starting to talk about higher low because we're positive for a couple of days, right? Is this just are people just doing things before FOMC, right? That's kind of what it seems like to me. We'll see. You know, that's the thing. We'll see. At the end of the day, if you want to find out if the SPY's heading down, okay, find out if it's going to do this today. Is it going to do that today? If it does that, it's going to roll down. Okay, awesome. If that rolls down, okay, is it going to hold support here, or is it showing you that price is able to get to here? Okay, if price is going to get to here, then we need to read into something like this being able to happen. Okay? And then if this happens, then you go, oh, watch out. That literally means, oh, watch out. Being genuine about that, you see something like this happen, right? You see that curl down over here, you got to be watching out at that point. That's how you go test 510, right? So if we just understand how it would get there, that'll help us, like, you know, really remain on just like, what are we seeing in front of us, right? We have to see it proven. That's all we're doing with pointing these type of things out. We have to see it prove how it's going to go down there. Because right now, something like this, right? That's just not, you know, that is a very, 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 very low percentage chance to happen, right? If it happens and you made money off that, you'll get rich quick. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Sam, I think you're in the same boat as me. You're like, you know, when this is your job, you realize that, like, you do have to realize that on the other end of every single trade is a person losing, right? Anytime you're winning, someone else is losing. It's like, you know, you got to think about those kinds of things, but it's kind of a weird mental, isn't it? Hey, Sebastian, thank you for the $2. Appreciate you being here this morning, buddy. Looks like it bounced 481 at open, then flushed to 477, then 30-minute bounce to 483. We stay in supply zone 484, 488. Little push with AMD earnings, then flush potentially to 461. Dark pool FX had a dark pool. Okay, so I'm guessing you're looking at what, Qs? Yeah, so from this type of area, you've already broken this. So this is showing you direction, by the way. The reason that you want this, the reason that you wanted this is because it shows you that they're reaching. They want this. They want this. They want this. Okay, let's pull them back before a big thing, get them out of it, and then we're going to go up to it, right? That's why you wanted to see the new high. The new low is not telling you anything yet, right? It's saying the opposite. It's saying you didn't get this, so watch out for this. And if you come down to here and you bounce up and you roll, you can go down lower, right? We see how all those things can really point us to direction. So as you're losing this, it adds more credibility to they want to see this. Even if you see this today, I think they want to see this because of where price action is getting. Now, it can hold up in here. I still treat it like, hey, I react to what I'm seeing in front of me. So if the 30-minute does this, curls up, curls back down, and then just curls up again, I'm back in, right? But reading into this is like they're kind of, I think the hand is being shown in that this needs to be, this is where price wants to get to, right? right? If the market is not showing you the bullish thing hint and setting a trap for the bulls and then setting a trap for the bears to go higher, then they're going to do something else, which is why I was seriously over and over again talking about down here. This door you did not want to be open. If you were a bull and you were wanting this market to keep going up and you were kind of like, hey, I don't want to see a retest at lower levels, then yesterday did not help you out. And that's why you probably heard me pause, kind of like, oh, like I was surprised. I was surprised that it was happening. And I was like, wait, this is something a little bit where, I thought the 5-minute would just go and go and go, and then we would see the trap today. That didn't happen. Right? So if price isn't showing us the way and giving us a lower high, that means that we're probably heading lower. Now, if this is overdone by any means and we just see it snap back, you still want to be aware of the divergences that can form there. But we see the opening up there. I wanted to go through this, Tony, for just a second. 481 at open. Looks like you're at 479, 480, but yeah. Then flush to 477. 477 might touch you. It wouldn't get you in the top of this zone, but that'd still be okay. And then we bounce to 483. 483, 484, I'd say maybe even filling of the gap too. You can get an overreaction back up. When you get an overreaction down, treat it like a snapback, kind of like a bouncy ball. And then you bounce down, kind of like this. Little push with AMD earnings, then flush potential till 461. Is AMD earnings today? I know Palantir had earnings. I'm sure that was fun, wasn't it? What did Palantir end up doing? Did it do what we said? Did it pump and then dump? Did it pump then dump? Ooh, not too big of a pump. Yeah, just a 2% pump. I thought we'd get a little more than that, but okay. Remember where we were talking about it? Right there. That looks good. Let me fix this. Yeah, I like Palantir still down at lower levels. It can set a higher trap, by the way. You look at the 2-hour, it's still up there. It did show divergence, but, earnings. For the time being, great move down. You're trying to see if that kind of downtrend starts, right? And you'll probably bump your head into some key levels. So right here, probably pretty key. See if you bump your head, boom. See if you bump your head, boom. And then you're down to this type of area. I do like Palantir still at 95. But if we start to see that zone hit the bottom of it, I'm probably being patient and making sure that can break back out of the zone or get a retest before going higher. And then the opportunity might just be waiting for a little bit longer, which is unfortunate. But Palantir, it still looks all right. From a daily perspective, you're saying, okay, I like this, right? Oh, it's cheaper. The daily could even cross down here. We could see that big pullback, and then it would still be holding up very well in a positive trend. So I don't think Palantir's in serious risk of losing this low is pretty much what I'm saying. All right, we are trying to climb our way back. Let's see here. Okay. All right, let's see what goes on with this guy. Okay, so now it's kind of shown its hand a little bit, right? We want to say it's shown its hand. We want to see if that's able to bounce up, and reject maybe off of gap fill, and roll back down. You could see literally just this today. That would make sense. I don't think you have, if you had this would be probably worst case scenario. This would be worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is the media starts printing really, really bearish things, something really bearish about before FOMC comes out, like, towards sentiment towards FOMC, and then it gets down to here like today. That is your worst case scenario. Or it gets down to here by morning tomorrow. That's the worst case scenario in my mind. What up, Luke? How's it going? Wolf got halted. Uh-oh. Wolfie boy, wolfie boy. Did it really? God damn it. Why do they always halt these things? Hey, look at your boy AMC. It's up, you know, it's starting to, yeah, it's barcode. GME, remember we were talking about this. GME, well, it's coming down to a critical level, very critical level. We can see very critical things, okay? So this is where we want to be seeing, hey, can that 2 hour still do it? Can it, even with the shit that's going on here, can it whip back up? And it's pretty much last little leg here. That would be kind of a big deal. Yeah, I could spread it out to cheap, but I want to do as accurate as possible here. Yeah, I think something like this. Oh man, yeah, something like this. Okay. So as of right now, you got to give a little bit of edge to bears as we're hitting these type of levels. If we wick here, we still have chance, right? This doesn't mean you can't do this. It just means now we can pay attention to that structure, right? Now we can see this. We could see this. Or you need to see this to get back on that bull side, right? So we'll keep an eye on it, but for now, daily gonna cross it. Yeah, daily cross down. So you could be getting that daily pullback to 25, 24.50. I think it was right here is that gap, right? Sneaky gap, 25. Oof. AM Dizzle. AM Dizzle not liking life right now. AM Dizzle is showing all those divergences right now. Just remember, this is earnings. This is earnings, which just means the technical, at least the MACD and the RSI, not very good, right? What you want to be seeing today is probably, do we make the new low? Do we make a low in some way? Do we actually see, actually this low breaking, not necessarily a good thing. Now it's kind of leaning me towards something like this. That's weird. So earnings 50-50 flip though, unfortunate. Who did something? Mega Samson. What's up, Mega Samson? Hope you're having a good morning. If you're calling 6,000, you're way too far ahead of the game. Like you're. I mean, you might be a leap trader or something like that. Like I hope you have positions way further out. This is not. You are not seeing the things you need to see right now, especially to go to 6,000. You and the GME short squeeze hope. Hey, I'll give you the bullish thing, but notice there were 3 bearish things and 1 bullish thing. Right? Just remember when you're analyzing and I draw up 3 bearish things, but you only see me draw up 1 bullish thing, that kind of tells you something. Who has the edge? Let's talk about 6,000. Just so you're aware, like 6,000, that is you banking on that we have no need to retest this at all. That is you banking on that the retest that most likely will happen here is going to go well. You don't know that, right? If you think you know that, you are guessing. I'm just going to tell you, you are guessing. You literally could see this go up to here and then crash still, right? So I'm not hating on you. I think it's great. Shout out what you think's going to happen. That's great. 6,000. I think we're getting there too. I think we're getting there too. But I am not confident with what I am seeing right now to suggest that is obviously going to be gotten to right now. That's the way to put it. There's not, especially because of yesterday's price action. Because of yesterday's price action, you opened these doors. So be aware of that. Now, you can say we're getting to 6,000 soon. That's great. Doesn't have a number on it. So eventually, you most likely will be right. I think even if we go down and revisit the lows and go down to 480, I think this market still could rebound up to what? 6,000. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on it. I'm just talking more about the timing. And is 6,000 going to happen in the next week? No. Is 6,000 going to happen this month? Well, our probabilities say no, that is not a high probability. Time to take the schools. Wait, time to take the kids to school in the tank. Oh no! I was gonna say hi to the kids for me. Don't say hi to those kids. 5,000 soon. See, Ash. with the price action you're seeing, that makes more sense, weirdly enough. Now, I don't think that makes more sense. I think they're both just overzealous right now. You need to see the price action in here, right? What happens right now matters. If we see this today and then we sell off with FOMC, you're going to be hearing me saying, hey, we're going to make our way and try to maybe get to 6,000 this summer. Genuinely. If all of this type of thing would happen, and as long as we hold up at the center and we see that bounce come in, we can start to say, okay, we might hit 6,000 sometime in the summer. Right? That's it. But until we see things like that, we can't sit there and go, oh yeah, we just know. You know, especially when I'm talking to 200 people, it's kind of like, that would be a disservice to you guys for me to tell you something's going to happen when I just blatantly know that you can't figure it out right now unless you have insider information, which if you have insider information, why don't you give it to us? Are there any trade ideas? I mean, right now, the trade idea for a day trader would be to fill the gap. The day trader would have bought down a tier. They fade them all the time. I mean, look at this. Why do you think these things happen all the time? Because either way, you need to probably see this kind of shape, or you need to see this happen, right? Bulls want to see this. Even if it sells off after, you still want to see that. And then bears want to see this. So most likely you're going to get some day traders involved this morning. No, we're gambling. Wolf's alive again. Let's go, Nicholas. Update me on price every once in a while, Nicholas. Day trader always buys a red open and sells a green open. Simple as that. Works until it doesn't. That is most of the time the story, though, isn't it, Maddie? that is most of the time the thing. QQQ's moves are 491.05 to the upside and 480.81 to the downside. So Q's, you're outside of it. So yeah, day traders are going to do this. They're at least going to take here and take it to here. They are at least going to do this, 479, and they're going to take it to about 482 to 483. That is the at least trade. The ballsy ones will hold for gap fill. The stupid ones who chase more things are going to hold through this if we do that. And then the really, really stupid people probably won't even sell there. And then FOMC might slap them. Right? If you're a day trader, that is. If you're holding these for week-long trades and things like that, it's not, you know, I would say it's bad decision-making at that point to, like, leave runners here or something like that. But someone who catches it here could have made money all like this. I mean, it's just setting up a trap if you do that, I think. We'll see. We got to see price action. Maybe it ends up being really smart. Maybe FOMC just goes, bam, and that guy makes a ton of money, right? It's like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, it's like baseball cards and stuff. Might be stupid to me, but it's smart to someone else to buy them, right? Yeah, I like milk. Got you, buddy. So are there any good trades? Well, we can look at things like Apple. I think Apple looks interesting. So we did get that spike down. I wanted that to come down to 196. I want to see if actually we got there at all. No, just 197. Apple's in an interesting spot. And you are seeing some weird things. You are seeing this kind of like dramatically all of a sudden taper off. Dramatic taper off real quick here. And you're super deep. So this is what doesn't give me too much like hope for Apple for the time being. I think you could bounce around in here for a bit, then see that sell down, go to that 196, then you turn around, and I think you'll create the divergence better here. What that does is buy you some time, then you curl down, then you curl up, and you create the divergence. We would like to see maybe even strength here to get this MACD to grow up a little bit, right? See that nice curvature. I think Apple could be interesting in the next few sessions. Obviously, people are going to be playing the AMDs. NVIDIA's really backed off here. Still not dramatically losing the 5, but it has lost the 5. So you got to be cautious with this one still, right? See if it makes that new high. That would be great. Let's look around. Microsoft is not a trade. Meta actually holding up pretty damn well here. Pretty well, yeah. Not bad for Meta, actually. Tesla, you could be looking for... Oh, this is actually really cool. Oh, do we end up going up? Oh no. Do we end up going up? You did get the test of the absolute low here. You did kind of break through. No, you didn't fully get there, actually. It's still a little higher up. Tesla, for the most part, looking like a range, right? Anytime you're down here, it looks like we're going to hit there. Anytime you're here, it looks like we're going to hit here. If we're looking for that breakout moment, well, this 30-minute crosses up, you got a chance right here. 30-minute crosses up, you got a chance right here. But that is something to react to, right? You could, people can make decisions right now and try for it. Like, I get it. People want to do that. That's perfectly fine. I would just like to see price get above all these moving averages and say, okay, this is the chance. And if it breaks through, you can potentially see like retest and go. That would be great. 328.50 would be the target there. If you break to the downside, though, if this curls up, right, we kind of curl up. We don't get all the way to here. We go, fail. Watch if this is broken, because that's how you get down to here, here, and potentially even down here towards 230. I'm not leaning towards that because Tesla's tested those levels like 4 times. So Tesla could be interesting looking for a breakout. AMC, GME, DJT, SoFi. SoFi looks, that's a rough look there. SoFi looks a little bit rough there as well. You don't like to see this. The only good part about this is it just kept going and got you positive, and you're still positive now, but you're losing that 5 again, which just makes you go, okay, is that just a massive flag? And this is some kind of ABC. ABC being maybe down to gap fill at 11, might even be able to get you down to 1070. That's a rough one there. We shall see. Netflix is back on track. Good job, Netflix. Hims is rocketing. That's cool. Any thoughts on oil? Well, looking at U.S. oil, you see the yield going up. Usually that means that that oil's going to come back. Now, this has divergence. So actually, oil's the play. Weirdly enough, oil's the play. If you're looking for a longer option, I mean, this is a daily divergence. If you start to confirm up here and you break through, you're going to potentially get all the way to 72.34, or get a massive reaction up to like 78.50. Then you pull back down into that 70. You probably pull back down into $70. Right. So if you can see this massive type of thing go on here, you can kind of see how this wants to head higher. That's what it looks like for the time being. Yeah, that's not bad. Why is oil going to explode? Are we getting a war or something? Why is oil going to explode? Inflation? I thought that was Bruce growling. HGX dropping off, not a good sign either. Volatility not curled up on the daily scale yet, but look at this. Look at this starting to take back that 5-day, or the 9-day and the 5-day. Look at it start to round out here. Look at it start to cross on that RSI. This is the worrisome thing for why the price action yesterday really did matter. Netflix, for the time being, we were looking at this and we were going, okay, this probably needs a daily pullback eventually. Like, right, we like to talk about opportunity. Is opportunity right now for Netflix? It depends on your trading, but I'm talking more longer term. The opportunity for Netflix was here, right? Right? And you might say, oh, it's obvious in hindsight. We mentioned the daily divergence, when it was here, I think, right? We caught it a little late, but boom. So reacting to here, that's why there's a line. We said back in the day, hey, this is how you take back $1,000. And look at this. We took back $1,000. Very nice. And notice in this zone, we did what? We saw the peak above. We came back down to the bottom. Then we start to just rip up. That's great. What are we looking for? The retest here or the retest here? So retesting here or here would be your next opportunities, because this is very likely to continue. So if you want to be bullish, then you would say, I want this to hold up here, right? If you don't want the market to have to dump in any way, like why would Netflix do this? Well, that'll probably affect the market. So if Netflix is able to turn around earlier, you're just going to see the daily swing trade set up. Pretty simple. Patience into a daily swing trade would be good. Look for your hints, right? If we see a 2-hour drop down, all right, as we're seeing that get closer and closer to the center line, you see the 2-hour just see a big dump. All right, we see this 2-hour go pretty damn negative, and we go like this. Bam, there's your next trade pretty much. Got to make sure it's setting up, but that's how you read into it. 30-minute right now, not very happy from the SPY. This is not what you want to see. You want to see that at least bounce coming in, but it looks like 560 isn't even going to get tested. It's just the 559.50 right now. So yeah, I didn't have it open in PayPal, but soon. That's yeah, Tony. Tony, I actually had to manage that trade, but for your sake, I managed the trade and I got back into it. Right, that was Friday, I believe, so I was able to sell that Monday morning. So I just waited. I waited. I think you mentioned it here, and I saw this happen. I said no, and then I saw this, and I go, okay, yeah, and then I was expecting this, so I sold right away. But it was literally like $100. I didn't do VIX though. I just switched it to the SPY. So I think it made me like 40% on $100. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure I made like $40 off of it. But I was like, hey, Tony says something big's gonna happen. Maybe if it goes down to 550 right away. No, it's probably gonna bounce here. Need to convince you to day trade? No, man. I did that and I was doing that and I'm like, it just reminds me of why I don't want to day trade. We're falling. We are falling. We're falling even further. This is not a good scenario right now. Yeah, I think this probably continues now. So, yikes. Yikes. Starting to look at pricing though of things down here. So now that we've broken this, it's very interesting if we see that start to form. It's more likely that we're going to see something like this. Maybe see that as support, and this is your chance. This is your chance to do something crazy. Because if you don't see that positivity come in at all, you're starting that downtrend. You're starting to go negative. You're starting to get oversold, right? So more oversold can happen. Then you come down into these type of areas like 555. You can bounce up, right? By end of day, right? We can see something like this and then just start to roll tomorrow, end up down here, and then watch out on Wednesday morning if we're down here. This is literally like the one bear case here is playing out so far, right? You still give the edge to the bulls with daily price, with 2-hour momentum, right? We still give it to the bulls, and this could be a retest in here, but we're going to pay attention to if we go to here and stop and start to turn around and then we have to see new highs come in, or are we just going down to here and we're going to see that go boom, 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 right? Friday, we see that bounce up. And then on Monday, we see that thing start to roll. This is like the one bearish case in my viewpoint, right? You know, market can do crazy things, but that's how I see it right now. TGs play a big role on RSI MACD. Yeah, it can. I mean, as far as if you're doing bigger time frames, I think that MACD and RSI are super useful. I think if you're doing super short time frames, there's a way to utilize them, but you have to understand they get violated a ton. It's always nuts for the first 20 minutes. Yeah, but where we're reaching down for that price is how deep we go is very important. And I think this continues. Yeah, now that you haven't seen that just buy come in right away in the morning, it really looks like it's going to continue down to 555. Right, this is blatantly just price action and how price action is behaving right now. So even if you bounce from here, you're probably going to 555 tomorrow. But as you're just seeing negativity and almost rejection now, again, off of that 5-day, you can see 555 from this. And VIX, I'll keep my eye on volatility. Look at VIX. VIX starting to pop up again. This is just bad, man. That is just bad. You do see like little reversal signals. Like you have one little shot here for the bulls, but that is it. Yeah, you're looking like volatility's winding up again. Yeah, exactly, Tony. During squeezes, indicators don't help. That's why you'll hear me talk about. That's why we started talking about price action too. When you're squeezing, it's good to talk about price action. Calm down, everyone. This is what we wanted. Exactly, though, right? We wanted the 2 hour to pull back. It's a good thing, Jake. I just need to make sure to pay attention to price if we get down in here. I think you're still bound to see a bounce. I don't think you'll just get there. But, ooh. Now it's printing. Hey, Samuel, I saw you got something printing up there. That's great. Sounds like you had to make some moves to make it comfortable for yourself, but it looks like it went well. That's awesome. I'm going to look at the one thing that volatility is saying that could tear this thing, make it see some kind of bounce from here. Oh man, now we get the bounce. No, I think we reject off of got 558 20. Crazy stuff. You know it's bouncing. I told you 482. It's going to 482. Yeah, you said 477 first though. Man, I would argue 476. Man, 476 and extreme positivity has to come in to say we're not going down to that weekly expected move. How's Wolfie Boy doing? Ah, man, they pause that bad boy and they say, nah. Target ended up doing the thing. Remember when we were talking about Target on the daily? Ended up doing the thing. Down before earnings. Down before earnings. And are we just gonna see I mean, why is Target gonna sell off all of a sudden too? It's not giving me very much it's starting to put that doubt for the bulls in the mind, right? The price action is starting to put that doubt for the bulls. Is there a course you'd recommend? How'd you gain your knowledge and experience? I took plenty of courses. I don't think they were that helpful. I think some pieces. I took pieces away and then started to do things on my own. I started to do things on my own a lot and started to figure out, like, I have a way of thinking about divergence that people really like. Why divergence is important, because I don't feel like people actually talk about it. So a lot of it was just practice. A lot of it was practice, learning a bunch of things, learning what works for me. And I think that the things that I was able to pick up are very understandable to each person that looks at charts for a certain period of time, right? I think if you look at charts for a month, you take my course, and then you look at charts for another month, I think you can start to grow. I think you can really start to grow your knowledge. Whereas for me, it took me, probably 2 to 4 years of playing with stuff over time, making mistakes and things like that. So I discuss my mistakes and all things. So it's just, it's just a matter of what I felt was the most important and what I utilized to trade, and that's everything that's in there. So every single piece that I put into that course, I use in my trading, which I don't think is the case for a lot of the courses I took. A lot of the courses I took a week to get through, and I used a 5% of whatever to actually trade. And I just think people think more information is better. It's not. Actually understanding why certain things are important and what is good for your trading, how you like to do things, that's much better in my opinion. Special news coming out today? Not necessarily. You just have, I think you had like earnings. I did hear about some potential trade. Let's see. I thought I heard something about India. Just in, India offers the United States a 0 for 0 tariff deal. I think Willow pointed this out yesterday on the live show, possibly the afternoon, the closing stream. On auto parts, steel, and pharma, proposing duty-free trade up to a set limit. Talks aim for a trade agreement by fall of 2025, despite farmer concerns over agricultural terms. So when do we hear that beautiful gentleman that's doing all these trade deals? Is anyone talking about trade deals today? Is Trump talking trade deals? That's what we need to see. Where the heck is Willow? No. Double top on a 1 minute. Double top on the 1 minute. I mean, I think you're still chilling. I'm gonna see if anyone's talking today. Let's see. Sometimes I always just search YouTube. Let's see. A bunch of fake Donald Trump streams. Here we go. CNBC. Treasury Secretary Bissett testifies before House Committee on 2020 on the 2026 budget request. Maybe he'll say something there. If you're having to ask me about a 1 minute double top, like, man, uh, I'm paying attention to bigger things right now, just to be 100% with you. You look back and timestamp my prediction. One-minute degens. Let's go, Nels. I'm just like, I have other stuff I gotta watch here. We can look at 1 minute and look at price. If we fail to make a new low, which you did not fail to make a new low here, so now we could see that reach up, maybe reject off again somewhere in there. See if we head down again. It's a 1 minute divergence. I ain't reading into that. Richard. I know. I don't know how, like, I feel like I have a lot on my screen. I always feel like I have a lot on my screen, so. Hmm. Okay, so you're in a little up movement here. Still looking for like 559 to be taken back, and we'll see. Hopefully you don't run into problems at that 558.46, right? Our daily expected move. But overall, this is still 2-hour pullback, right? We realize that. We have not gotten down to here. So if we haven't gotten down to here, is there super, super big reason to be fearful? Fearful? No. Let's see here. So I'll be traveling on the rest of the week. Make sure the wife gets this for Mother's Day. We will. I've already got some things planned, Richard. Richard, thank you so much for the $100 donation in the chat there. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. My wife appreciates it. And you just, I already bought the massage, but that's like her favorite thing. Hey, thank you for that. Shout out Richard in the chat, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'll take her to dinner now too. Richard's just supplementing my marriage. Yeah, safe travels, bud. Try to pop in every once in a while. Just say hey. W says Jomo. W in the chat. What if I would touch 550 for just an hour so I can move my shorts? This means 570 by end of day. We gotta see. We gotta see if this news can help you out. Your sugar daddy at this point. So my valuation for Wolf today. Wolf doing wolfy things, man. Can remain good. The thing you want to see is it take back 575. If you take back 575, that is a good sign, right? On the daily scale. You take back 575, that is a good sign that you want to see a bigger block tested. I would say potentially in here. So you see this. It doesn't matter if it curls down, curls up, right? You just want to see if it's breaking to the downside again. But if it can break out, even go to the upper, hold price even better, fantastic, get up into this area. Then you have to see what you do up here. So right now, it's doing what it needs to do. It's great. The 2 hour is showing divergence though, so that means watch out because you're seeing that divergence before you actually get here. So that means this 30-minute will tell you a lot if it gets one more push. If it does this and fails and starts to break this low that we have designated as the higher low, if we curl up, right? We haven't seen that yet, but it's starting to on the price action. If you see this, you're going to see this most likely across, but more so because that's extended, we want to see it in the near price action. What that'll do is set you up to a divergence that's actually close to the center line. Bam. You start to see that head down, possibly into what? Oh, it's got earnings, though. It's got earnings. Thursday after market. So, 50-50 flip on that. I would be paying attention to where in the zone you can get to before. If you get to here and you see a sell-off, right? If we build price up and we're able to take this by earnings, just be aware if it's taking back that center, that's good. And as long as it's not losing this low now, you're pretty good. But I would be watching for things like this and thinking about risk. Bitcoin about to see some upside. So is the market about to see some upside? Oh, coming back into the zone. That's good. Not above the 5 at all yet. What we want to see here, weirdly enough, 5-minute scale, we do want to see this taken out. We want to see it peak that head above this. And then if it needs to go retest and make a higher low, that's fine. But you don't want to see it rejected before making that high from the previous 30-minute bar. That's how I would think about it with price action right now. I want to see positive things. Because if you just reject from in here, inside trading bar from this 30-minute to this 30-minute, and then you reject, you can go down lower. This is nonsense right now. I'm just going to like listen in a little bit. He's talking about national security right now. Safe travels, Bubba Snooky. Can you count this as island reversal? It's close, but I would say no. Just because you actually went and touched that area again. More island reversal is kind of like you don't look back, right? Island reversal would have been like if right here we gapped to here and we didn't look back. Island reversal was ability here. You see that gap down to here. You look like you're coming back. You never get there. You reject again, right? You go bam, bam, bam. That would have been your time for island reversal more so. But like, I mean, really, at the end of the day, is like island reversal going to help you out? Like, let's just be frank about it. Is knowing if it's island reversal really the most important thing right now? And I'm not hating on you or anything like that. I'm just like, if that does, tell me what you know. Tell me how it helps you in this type of scenario if you're seeing it as island reversal, right? I'm always down to like don't think just I'm Mr. Know-it-all or something like that. I'm always down to learn. If you have something that you pay attention to with island reversal, I'm down to hear it. I'm sure the chat is too, right? We share our ideas here. My wife is supposed to go get me coffee. Rude. Why is GME puking? Because it had a 2-hour divergence outside of last month's monthly expected move, and then it lost that key level, and now it is turning down on the daily time frame because the most probable thing for GME with those signals that we mentioned last week was a daily pullback. GME is dropping because the money told you it would drop, and that was the most probable thing. If you wanted a squeeze, you needed that to be violated. It was not. Yeah, just gonna be kind of blunt with that. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, that was tackled. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It can still turn around, Jari. Daily turns right back up. You look for that daily to turn up. It's in a positive trend now. That's a very good thing. But you have AMC earnings. What do we know about AMC earnings and GME earnings? Most of the time, they go down during those earnings. So I'd be looking at when GME has earnings next. And if it's going to be a bullish thing, look at this. We're hitting the downside. So this might have more downside. You broke in the center. So now you can see little reactions that maybe fall again to go down to 25. Sorry, someone's calling me. And then we look for the maybe build up into earnings and see if we're able to take off. I'll leave it up to the earnings at that point. I'll maybe play earnings just in case, but a lot of the time GME and trying to catch a call on earnings, or AMC trying to catch a call on earnings, like relation to GME, it's just going to go negative on you pretty quick. What's wrong with Palantir? It was way, way, way out there. It got earnings, saw the upward move that we thought you would get, and then it tanked. Nothing is wrong with Palantir. Nothing is wrong with Palantir. It just had a bad earnings. And when did we say would be potential time to purchase? You look for behavior in here. Whatever the behavior shows you in here can tell you a lot about which direction this wants to go. If you reach down to here, be open to this. If you dip down into here, or you bounce, right? You dip down into here, maybe you bounce, you come back into that zone, you do this. All right, awesome. It's telling you something. Hold on, he's talking about trade partners. Give me a moment. China, we have not engaged in negotiations with yet. That is the opposite of what we've heard. Kind of. Like, yeah, I guess it is. People were not impressed. It's not that Rishi. It was already priced in. The market, it's already priced into Palantir. Right? You see a big upward move before earnings, and then people expected a good earnings, and they get the good earnings they expect. It's already priced in. Right? The market's looking into the future a lot of the time. Smug. Dixie didn't like what's being said here, I think, about the China thing. So this is bad. That's bad for the market for the time being. Even though the market's heading to the upside, that's not what you want to see. You think Fed will cut rates tomorrow? No. I think you have maybe a 5% chance of a rate cut tomorrow. Powell gonna not do anything. That's the most likely scenario. I think you'll end up with a cut. I mean, it's still pricing in 4 cuts, so something's going on. I think the market will go down. Yeah, I kind of thought that Fed Day, FOMC Day would be a bad thing. And that's why this price action is actually kind of scary, because if it is a bad thing, that's how you get down to these type of levels. So if you're down here already, you see this, it rolls, you go down in the morning, or down in the afternoon and down in the morning, and then you see people give that hope, and then bad news is there. That's how you roll down to the bottom. And then from here, you're looking for that reaction up, get back in our percentage zone, and you're seeing, hey, can we do this? Because if not, and you go down and you break that low, I would watch out for 510 at that point. Do you see why I was so paused yesterday? I was like, this is not what I wanted to see. We have made a new high here. That's a good thing. This is the area that I was looking for potential rejection, right around that 558 to 560. Pretty much anything right below this 5-day. Hopefully we can back test here, though. Yeah, volatility's starting to curl. Hopefully we can back test the upside, and then we'll know a lot. Right, we just saw this. We need to see what happens here. We need to see what happens here. This is good, right? What did we say? The 30-minute, you want to see that new high come in? Okay, things are okay for now. Things are okay. They're not good, they're okay. And we're still looking for this area to get kind of tested. Okay, good things. That's crazy though. The dollar just smashing. Okay, not smash anymore. The volatility is trying to confirm down in about 20 minutes. Qs, how are they doing? Yeah, new high there. Okay, good. This means you got a shot, weirdly enough. You've got the tiniest little shot in the world. No, okay, no. 5-minute structure. Yeah, okay. 5 minutes what we're gonna follow for this morning, for the rest of the stream for a bit. This is good. You kind of came down, you designated your low is what you really did here. And then you took out what you had for the high of day so far. Took that out. That's good. Now we'll see, hey, can we do more of this? More of this. This is pretty good though. That's got some steam. That has some steam behind it. What do you guys think? With this early price action, makes me at least question. It is during retail hours, so we'll see. You kind of need to see more of what you got yesterday. You need to see that some kind of upward move. See that come back off, with like retesting into some kind of block. Hopefully you're not retesting into here again, actually. But you need to see that extend. You're getting that to extend. Then you probably want that to tap into here and not lose the daily. You don't want to make a new low here, right? You need to see positivity right now. I don't really pay too much attention to volume. I'll look at volume on bigger time frames if it's starting to decrease dramatically and things like that. You can tell me there's low volume here, and yeah, you squeezed, so there should be low volume. Do you think there's any level for a bounce for Palantir? I would say that Palantir, anything before, we'll give the flat number and give you a decent one. I think anything before $100 is a little bit risky, but really, Palantir can do whatever Palantir wants to do. For the time being, though, losing all of these lows is a big deal. So you're very likely to continue to what? At least $100. I'm still thinking 95. I still like this area right here for 95. So just be ready. But yeah, can you get a bounce? Yes, you can always get a bounce. Will you get a bounce that really sustains itself and continues? Well, you have to see this thing prove itself now. Go like this, go like this, go like this, and there's probably a trade right here. But for now, you're just trying to catch something that's really low. It will get a bounce, right? These things don't just like plummet into the ground. Palantir is not a hated company. But I think eventually you're going to end up at 95. I think though, if something shows you something different, that's a good thing, right? If you see something that looks good and it follows all of your rules, all of your reasons, right? Reasons for the trade, 3 to 5 reasons. Okay. You think the feds will purchase the 7 trillion debt coming due or refinance the current high rates? I wonder what they would do. Maybe put good news to cool bonds. I think they're banking on a deal for something like that, maybe, but I highly doubt they're going to purchase them. I just highly doubt it. If they do, pay attention. That can be a good thing. If I was friends with them and I knew more, I would say more, John. See if we get the retest into yesterday. See if we retest into yesterday's price action. If we just fill this gap and turn, that's not necessarily a good thing. We'll find out. Hopefully that does take you above the 5, so you got a chance. Do you think Apple will go back down to 190? I think 196 is what I'm paying attention to. Next prediction, 477 to 482. 484. Bounce a little higher with AMD earnings. 484, 488 range, and then dump with FOMC. With the AMD earnings, that's overnight, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I crazy? Okay, we haven't broken through the 5 yet. If you cut the positivity at any moment here before we get to gap fill, we got to watch out. I don't know if downside is done just yet. It's great to make the new high, but notice that we just curled on the MACD. So a lot of the time when you're this deep, you're going to have to see great things, right? Great things and make that higher low, do something like this. Or you're going to make a divergence. Like over here. See the RSI? Sorry, right here. My bad. Right here. So I would be watching out for those kinds of things. You're looking for the higher low. This is pretty much a 5-minute. We're looking for reversal in trend. And you do not have it yet. So this means still cautious. So far, I'm 100% on the prediction. Yeah, you're right. I'm just worried about more downside before your prediction is right at 488. Right? 488. If you're saying 488, you got to do some work here. So that is exactly that. That's a prediction right now. You're trying to look into the future. You're predicting, but I am guessing you're not saying 488 right now. Oh, 477 first. Okay. Sorry, I got to get the levels for the Qs. 477. That would make total sense. That means we get the second dump. Second dump makes a lot of sense. Remember 555. 555, right around that area. I think. Let me look at the 30-minute again. 556. 555, 50, 555, 554.50 to 555.50, right in here. Man, if you can bounce from there, that'd be great. You're hoping to get some news to make that new high before FOMC. At least if you did on the Qs get up to 488, that would give you some room here for volatility. Good stuff. We're waiting for that. We're seeing if the 5-minute can get closer to that center line now. A little bit closer. A little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer. We kind of want this to hold up for a little bit, even if you want it to sell off. I think Tony is actually correct to be reading into, just like he's saying the levels for the QQQs, 477. I think that's actually, let me go make sure. Let's go make sure here. 476.50 to 477. Actually, no, it's deeper. 475.50. This wick pretty much in here. 477.22. This little box in here would be the best place to get a bounce from. That would be still a pretty damn good thing, and that's how you get the big reaction of 488. Right? You can't go too deep. You go too deep, you start to open that door. You go too deep, you start to open that door to go down lower. So you don't want to go too deep. This is your too deep. Maybe you can wick there, but you don't want to see a close below, I think, 475.50. I stared at this stuff yesterday, man. Last night I was staring at this stuff because I was, you heard me kind of pausing during the live show yesterday, going, wait a second, we didn't make the new highs. We didn't set the trap, really. We set the trap in a lower high, which actually gives some edge to the bears for a moment. So, okay, keep doing your thing, though. Keep heading to the upside. As much upside as we can get. The more upside you get, the better right here. Get a lot cheaper. That's right, not Navin. Tumor, thank you for subscribing. You're about to pop up. And Rick, thank you so much for subscribing. Rick Grimes, The Walking Dead. I mean, if I was day trading, I'd be, really paying attention to this move and seeing if the short sets up, honestly. You think where'd this gap start? 563.26. Oh, sorry, not 26. 563.40. See if we can fill that. If we can fill that, that's actually a good thing too. It's still overall not looking good. This is not what you want to see, but the more positivity, the better. In Master Freak, we trust. Who's Master Freak? Master Freak's in the chat somewhere, right? Where's Master Freak today? Oh, is it you? Okay, good. All right, is that your Rumble name? I just want 555. I'll be long after. Man, look at IWM. Oof. Oh, okay. IWM, a lot more negativity. Why? The low here built up to it, right? We even broke it. So it showed you the hand a little bit, right? But by breaking this and then rejecting, boom, cross down. Once you see that rejection, potentially even see 5-minute weakness. No, maybe not. Lose the low, gap down. So now you have a lot of work here, but I don't know. You really got to look for those rejections in here as well. You reject from there, you're probably going lower than this low. That's not a good look for IWM. 30-minute down there. I mean, what you're hoping for IWM is it's done. Because if you're going to do this and do this, that gets you to the bottom of the zone. Yeah, you're kind of hoping it's done soon, right? You want it to create something up here, right? 96.91 and 195.75. You literally held on the brink. Lawrence, thank you so much for joining today. Yeah, IWM's just done the aggressive work, which means the next push down could be aggressive. Still above here. Still a test of here would be good, right? Still here. Oh, they're kind of fighting right now. See if this gets tested too. Maybe we get another test of 558.46. I want to see retests on the way up. I want to see just quick, maybe a wick or something like that. I want to see quick retests. I know we're overall looking at this retest, right? We're looking in here. All right, I'm muting for a second. I'm not dealing with that. Some fucking hysterical people, man. You didn't give the answer I wanted. Reclaim my time. Reclaiming time. I'm just like, dude, shut up, man. Let me just pause on this guy for a little bit. Ugh. That's why I can't watch those things, man. Watching grown adults be like, I'm reclaiming my time is just the most annoying thing. Maybe scratch your itch if you have one too. Yeah, break open that fun account. Wolfie boy doing crazy things. Oh my god. I love I love politicians. How do you make your money, Justin, from likes? If it hits over 140, the market will crash. Wait, what were you talking about? More the move index? Oh yeah, bond market is in trouble. Move. You're looking at move, volatility. Yeah, pretty low for the time being. That scaled up. Yeah, you're gonna see some interesting things happen here. You make a new high from this. I mean, it's kind of a oh, it's been high. It's been elevated for a long time. I haven't been keeping too many eyes on this. Wait, if it goes up though, man, you might see flight to TLT. We'll have to see. Oh wait, I'm gonna go deeper. I have one move. I want to see a second one at least. Let's look over here. VIX is able to confirm that. Turn down on the 30. Yeah, 2 hour is like 4 hours away from going positive for volatility. I don't want to see that. HGX filled gap. Oh, did it fill the gap? I think it left it. No. People make money off YouTube? Not from likes, no. Likes give you exposure. The way you make money on YouTube is you put out information that people would like to learn from, hear from, entertained by. That's the way you make money. You make money per 1,000 views. So I make, from ad revenue, I think I make like 500 a month, 600 a month. Chris, I hope so, man. I think you can see a retest here. Like I said, you want to see these things as they build up, and you want to see if it's going to come back, right? Well, you need to see if it remains good. Bam. Then you're going to watch out for here, and you want to see probably something like this to build back. And then you want to watch out for the big move. If they're going to make a big move down, it would be here or on this push right here, I think. But you want to see those tests, right? Anytime you see something like this, you want to see that level kind of tested on the way up. You want this to remain healthy the whole time if you want it to come back. If it starts to make that go like this, then go like this, then lose it, that's different. At least that's how I see it right now. We just want to be aware of that. Well, when I'm doing that, I'm trying to make the language. I know that language is important because how I communicate matters. So the reason I just say aware of that is because ultimately, what are we looking at, right? A 2-hour pullback, right? A 2-hour, maybe aggressive retrace. But the awareness is here because that's less probable. The more probable thing is right here, and we just see this thing dandy, right? So I wanted to make sure to beat that into you guys because the price action here is suggesting that this is very possible, right? So I want to make sure my language is understandable, which is why you're going to hear me use that type of phrasing. And that's the type of phrasing that I've tried to more say, like, hey, this is something to be aware of, but it's not necessarily something that I'm like, oh yeah, that's something that I need to focus on all day and all day, all day. Oh yeah, I make more way like yes. Yeah, Mr. Joshua. That's why you'll see bearish things a lot on the internet because it gets more clicks. And that's just YouTube's algorithm. It likes to show people fear. Yeah, I try to make it kind of in the middle, not now. And I try to make it very obvious early on, right? That I'm like, hey, we're still talking about the bullish thing, but we're being aware of the bearish thing. Oh, come on, get that retest. I want to see it remain healthy, remain healthy. I mean, the retest is where you could fail, but the retest is what I want. I want this, but I want to see if this is going to remain good on the way up. I got my coffee. It's time to level up. Hey, I appreciate that, Mr. Joshua. I'll try to continue to be helpful just for you, buddy. Each individual, I'm trying to be helpful to each one. Well, that explains why I feel afraid. Well, why do you think, I talk about my mom sometimes. She watches, mainstream news. It does not matter what channel you watch. It will be heavily towards fear, fear, fear. That is why you will always see, even if your state news has no news to post that day, they are going to tell you about a murder that happened 20 states away from you. It is to keep you in a negative mindset. I believe the strength as a human being comes from turning any negative into a positive. And I am not someone who's positive all the time. I still struggle with it. But I try my best. If they have known bad news to report nearby, they will look for bad news to report elsewhere. That's why you should stay away from things that are feeding you negativity. If your TikTok feed is all negative political news, you will become a very negative political person. It's as simple as that. Based on what you see now, would you say that we're going towards closing the gap and then go down, or we reverse now and we go down? I would say they're going to use it as bait at least. I would lean towards gap fill or just before gap fill. 562. Let's see. What's $1 off from this? 563.59 for the high. The close was 563.53, so I would say watch out for 562.50. And then if you're able to see those good retests, right? If you see this and it goes up to 562 and then that fails, breaks the low, that's not a good thing. But if you can see this, you go to 562.50, you pull back down into the top of this area again to retest it, then you can go fill that gap. And then you get into the lunchtime period where continuation might take place. That's how I kind of see it for the time being, but I have to see the retest to see if this is going to prove to be that way. If you just get excited, this is fine. I don't think this is bad to see some sort of consolidation. If you get excited, though, I'm still worried about the drop. So the only way I think you build back is you prove you can exceed that, right? Probably see something like this. You exceed that dramatically. You see that mean retest. Then you start to head in that upward direction. So for how this is moving right now, one, this is retail hour as well. So what I want to see is this, and that to fill the gap. Once we would get to something like 562.50, or even right now, I would say 562. Let's just say 562. We get to 562. I think at any point you could see the trap kind of set. I think you're looking for the dramatic higher low or the dramatic divergence here for your 5-minute chart. So I think you're either going to see, either way, you're going to see some kind of shape like this, right? We already talked about the retest, right? We don't have to draw it again. You kind of do this, then you go like this and turn up. Hey, that's good. You got to see probably a bigger pullback in here, though. So if you do this, and then you pull way down, and you start to see that go boom, boom, that's where it's a problem. And then you'll look for the potential divergence down here. If it's in one swipe and it looks really, really bloody, watch out for the wick. That's what I would say. Not Navin, I've been listening. It's just they keep saying, I take back my time, so I keep muting it. Facts, I watched news yesterday for the first time in forever, and it was 5 murders, 5 robberies, 3 crashes, and we get rain. Yeah, even the weather, right? Right, Chris? Hey, Chris, did you update your photo? Looking snazzy. Looking snazzy over there. Yeah, it's just a lot of chit chat. I'm like keeping it in my ear, but it bugs me. I should probably just like turn it off. we can do everything with price action, to be totally honest. Great to move overall sideways though. Right here. This is not bad. I just don't watch it. I just don't think what like, and I say this to my mom all the time, like, what does that do for you? What does you knowing about someone 5 states away have a bad thing happen to them do for you? Like, what does it do? Pretty much nothing. Hey, Leonardo, thank you so much for joining us today. Watch this little tiny. I don't know, Tony. You're getting it pretty right. Your volatility call was 1 day off, though. I had to manage and then get back in, but I made my $40. I took that 100. Well, you didn't donate the 100, but still, we did it. I still did it with you, but I did it with SPY, not with volatility. I switched it on you. Sorry about it. I didn't think the short over the weekend was like the best thing in the world. I thought it was, if you were going to make a decision, I think that was probably the better of the two, right? Long or short, but you could have seen a gap up on Monday, so I wasn't inclined. Oh, it's all right, Tony. You don't got to worry about it, buddy. Just keep doing your thing. I like your participation in the chat right now. I love the ideas. I think it's good. And at least to me, the idea, after drawing it out in a 5-minute, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, she wants to be aware of that. Oh, Rocky's gonna just troll me now from now on in my chat. Hey, I'm down, man. Where's Kalani needs to be looking at her 1-minute chart now. for the next opportunity. Oof. Oh, he's talking about bond markets. Let me take a brief break here and listen in. He's talking about the government debt in line with the sickness in the bond market, is what it seems like. CRT puts and calls tomorrow tonight before FOMC. Cheap as fuck. Can't lose much, but almost guaranteed. I would say this one thing to read into. As far as that kind of strategy, if you do that when implied volatility is low, and I notice you're mentioning the pricing of options, implied volatility is actually low right now. I know that's crazy, but yeah, the implied volatility being low tells you that that could work in some way. You know, you want to be cautious with it, make sure you're using that position size correctly. I don't think it's like crazy to do. It's not something I like to do personally, because all you have to see is like the equal react, the just the implied volatility is right, and then you're just kind of in a tough spot, because this wouldn't make more than maybe you lose to the downside, or this wouldn't make more than you would lose to an upside move. That's how I'd look at it. But I think if you saw something surprising, you know, as these tighten up, it says something surprising is coming. So maybe something surprising is coming, is what I'm overall getting at. So playing both sides, I understand. I didn't even listen to that part. Okay, maybe we will get the retest. No, haven't lost it yet. I still would like to see it. That is probably how this plays out. I don't think you're guaranteed to see this. I think this is where it gets risky. You want to see a burst through moment, I think. This would be one of these would be the moment to burst through, see that major upside, get back into a positive trend. Yeah, risk starts to get higher towards 562. With the ability to fill gap, right? Still unfinished business. Go look at my other charts for a moment here. Volatility testing 5-day moving average here. Higher highs are in the cards. I'd have to agree with you, Oscar. And then you're hoping no earnings throws anything up. I think Target is set up for a good earnings. Looking for the trap still before potential FOMC. The trap would be we do the 5-minute thing here. We see that explode. We see it given up with FOMC. If people read into it too much, maybe the pullback is really the thing we're looking for, or another drop down to see that 2-hour fully flash down. 2-hour still curled down. So really, until the 2-hour curls up, you're not satisfied. Maybe he says some good news and we get some kind of squeeze out of it. We'll see if that 2-hour can turn up, okay? We'd have to see some pretty damn good positivity. You probably have to break above this, use that as support. Bam. For right now, we got to deal with today, this morning. I want to see that rug get pulled into a V-bound. That I could see. I could see it. Anything above 550 is still good. Just always keep it on the table this week, no matter where we're at. If we're anywhere near the middle of our zone, keep it on the table. What, Tony? Exactly, Luca. Oh, so we're agreeing like fully now? I just like to see the price action. I don't know. Maybe I'm not that good at 5-minute charts. I need to see more than you do. So if I want to short today, the best way is the gap to be filled, right? I would assume that would be where it piles on. You're probably going to see a retest here. All right, we're just moving sideways. That's building, right? So when we're moving sideways, what are we doing? We're building. Build, build, build. Bam. Or build, build, build. 562. And since you built, I would give it a little bit more room. Maybe even say 563, 562.50 in here. Make them feel like you're not going to close the gap, maybe. Or close the gap right here and be done. You know, we want to see if this closes and reverses. But if this can get to up to here, that's a little bit better. 565 would be something I'd be watching. Yeah, 565. You take back 565, it's better. I'm still leaning towards this. I'm still leaning towards this or this. We're still not positive yet. Day traders see pattern when they are looking at screen 24/7. Day traders see, they're like, okay. Well, you might have been able to see that from this alone. You might have been able to see that from this alone and reading into the psychology of this week. So I respect it. I just want to read into more what's going to happen down here. We caught the bounce. Okay, that tells you something. But this is what tells you. This kind of tells you another swing low is probably coming. Right? This is kind of a hint, I feel like, taking that out. Right? We made the, what did we say up here? If we make the new high, we pull it back, it's showing you direction. We didn't make the new high, so we're saying, okay, now the door's open. So if this just got taken out of low, then that's showing us direction, in my opinion. And so the direction we should be focusing on is another low to get into that liquidity zone, to get into that resistance that became support. That's how I read into it. Yeah, it's straight up price action. And since Tony's a day trader, I'm glad he's talking about price action a lot. That's good. Liquidity, liquidity, liquidity. What if we don't get a retest? Then you're hoping for a surge higher and looking for the higher low. You do not have reversal in trend yet at all. And the fact that you're making a shelf here, instead of retesting and seeing good things, retesting, seeing good things, right? Doing this. Right now you're making that shelf on the 5-minute, which tells us more so pay attention to the next move. Because if that fills the gap, I'd watch out. Right? Unless you're taking back 565. Yeah, 565. See the test? 565. 565, the door starts to open a little bit to the upside move. But once again, 36% retracement of the high yesterday to the low of today. I think we got, what, 50% to go. Pump my bags, Trump. Tell me lies. Tell me lies. Today's a good day to buy. Thank you, Gordon. No. You see that tweet again? Yeah, the fact that we're moving sideways here, not getting the retest is kind of like it's a good thing, but it's also like, hey, yeah, just one more move now. So that means watch the next 30 minutes carefully. I'll stay live another 15 minutes here. See if we get that upward move. I gotta hop off right before 10:30 my time. Good thing for the bulls. If we take 565 back, it'd be a good thing for the bulls. If we reject from gap fill or near gap fill, pretty much anything below 565, I'm pretty satisfied in saying, like, yeah, we're gonna make a dramatic higher low, but I'm more leaning towards this low getting taken out. Why? Because we took out this. And it would get you into the zone, right? If you start to read into it a little bit. Here we go. Let's see if it can break. I bet 1 minute's maybe close to the center line. Yeah, 1 minute's by the center line. So you're probably about to see a break to the upside. Little A, B, C maybe. And then you go drop, drop, drop. See something down in here. Down from here, I don't know about down from here exactly. I would like to see us reach up as we're either using the gap as bait or it's something that needs to be done. Try to think if I want to do the fun account this week too. Okay, we'll pay attention. No shorts will keep their shorts into AMD earnings. So that would mean probably that V shape at the end of the day could be important. Consolidation, hee hee. Take 477 long. I think you could wait. I think you have time. I think you have time. I'd rather look around 560, 250 or gap fill if I did. I always debate whether or not I'm going to. The AMC earnings are on a Wednesday this time. Usually AA has them on the weekend to really make people freak out. I'm greedy. I play both sides. I feel you. Well, now you have a downtrend for the 5 minutes. So day traders, if they don't catch the fade here, they'll be looking for the short. Oh, I'm thinking about, I'm literally thinking about options expiration next week. I'm thinking about 580 for next Friday, to be totally honest. Like, give myself maybe a month for 580, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks for 580. But since we opened the door to that downside move, I really want to be paying attention to where we test in that zone and if we can actually see positivity after the Fed with, say, earnings or something like that. 24 bounce. Volatility for the time being, yeah, I mean, you're in the area where you can see something, but it did just break down. 30 minutes still breaking down. I think you're more like this, right? You can do this and it's perfectly fine. You're still positive. Pullback mode, give us an hour of this, then see that. Or give us, a sweep down real quick. Because you left this behind, so you already have unfinished business for volatility. You don't need this right now. This still tells you, hey, why is that unfinished business there? Are we going to revisit it later or sooner? Well, VIX likes to fill it pretty quick. We'll find out. So plan on the trade, right? Plan on the fun trade. A wick down to there would be pretty nice. But that means SPY would go to 562, 564. Just chilling, watching. Come on, see upside for another 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Maybe we'll just hang out for a bit. Stocks hit new lows. We should be aware of that, Rocky. SPY just looks like it's retesting the previous support on a 2-hour bounce. I have my money on another drop after rejection. Apologies if you already said that. Late start today. Hey, that's all right, Tony. Just a lot of Tonys in the chat. Damn, we're holding this sideways so long that we're able to get close to the center line. Let's see if this push takes us positive. Alrighty. I feel like we get put vibes into next week. Then the Bulls take the reins because Trump said. I think options expiration is what you're watching there. You know, what is options expiration good for Wall Street? And that's why I'd really be watching. Like, hey, if you have this, I think you have who knows the VIX expiration this month? Sold the Tesla put. I mean, you're in a range, so I totally understand. Swiftser's like, let's move up. Hey, I'm down. I'm just looking, you know, at any time, this built of liquidity can shoot you down to retest. Where's that wick? 559.29 would be great. But I want to see the break to the upside for the downward move. This would still remain healthy, which means we can look for what? If this is positive. If this is positive, and we see this and it still remains positive, doesn't curl down, then you can get up to places like this, curl down, people think it's awful, then you start to see that thing climb. right? This is going to be an inflection point and seeing if we can turn around right here. Because if you can't, then 555, which is kind of what I'm leaning towards, is actually a 555, something dramatic still. Do calls generate more gain? Depends on the timing. Tesla is hard. Tesla has a high implied volatility saw, just so you're aware if you're trading Tesla. Yeah, get it right, Tony. Yeah, so if you're trading Tesla, just know the implied volatility is really high. So you're potentially going to pay premium in like both directions always. There are times when it'll be in your favor, but timing's really important there. If you want something more chill to trade, just look at something that's not Tesla, honestly. As these snivs call it. That time in that high value carries implied volatility. I made 1,335 on Tesla put. Bought the put at 286, sold at 272. Yeah, if you're doing that I would say small of move for something like Tesla. Weirdly enough, that is a small move. Tesla moves a lot faster. Just be aware of that. But just like what's Rocky saying? Whenever I say it, I think of Rocky now. You have to just see it and be like, okay, implied volatility is high. This is going to see their crazy moves. The pricing of the options is going to be a little bit wild most of the time. I mean, if you roll from here, then 555 is like, if you actually roll this from here, meaning like this 9-day starts to do this. Then you see if you can come back. So be ready for the fake out of 479, mid-range from 482 to 477. Don't fall for that long. We'll make it look like a higher low. I usually close my short for at 510 and put it back to 477. Okay, makes sense. Well, 479 in this scenario would be now, wouldn't it? Like I said, I'm not perfect with the 5 minutes, but that's how I see it. It'll probably be generally correct. Oh, this coffee's good. I got an iced coffee this morning. Ooh, it hitting different. One of these sold so I can go back to bed. Dang it. That's what's up, Mr. Joshua. Living the life. I want to make a trade so I can go to bed. I wish I could sleep during the day. You're just so lucky, you know? Yeah, I'm hoping that the best trade sets up, and I think that's towards 560, 250, 563. If we get to 564.50 and we reject, that would be like best case, I think, actually. You take back more than the gap, make people go like, oh, see, it's different from yesterday. We're taking back the whole thing. We're going up to here, but they don't realize like, hey, if you're not even taking back 565, you're not even in a game to try to take back this. If you're not taking back this, then the game is that way. For now, we'll have to see. 564.50 is where I have it. Is Apple doing a retest 190-ish? I think 196 still what I'm watching, that gap support, and then paying attention to what happens from there. I think Apple could get a react. I think it still wants that dip down to 196. Why am I watching 196? Gap resistance starts up there, or gap support, I apologize. Gap support starts up like right around that 196 level. I don't want to see this really taken out. It can be, right? It just adds some credibility to more downside. But as you're potentially using weekly expected moves at that point, 196 is great to pay attention to. If you have the Patreon, you know why we're really watching that gap support. Oh God. Oh, I knew who it was. It's that blue-haired bitch. She I can always pick out her voice. I love these millionaires in I love these millionaires in government talking badly about millionaires. I love when that happens. Millionaires are terrible as they drive up in their, $70,000 car into their $1 million home. This is why it's like NBA. This is why I watch highlights. I usually watch highlights of hearings. Stop stealing from the poor. They're grabbing the money from another person who they say is stealing from the poor. And then everyone in the poor is like, "Yay, they're taking the money away from the rich person." And then they put it in their own pocket while the people clap for them. Vix does want the 24. It's bottling up though, man. It's bottling up. You're not giving stuff up on the RSI either. You're not giving this up yet. I would love to see the flash move though. I want to see the flash move. Or a move up. This is kind of sneaky. That's kind of sneaky. Yeah, that's kind of sneaky. So now I want to see this. This. That's kind of what I want to see. It'd show the kind of similar thing to the SPY as well. You would see like boom, boom, boom. New prediction update. Update by Tony. Tony, you're having fun today. I like it, man. Someone has to hold it, okay? It said, it was steal from the rich, but they never give it to the poor. They tell you to pay more taxes, and then we'll give you a marginalized amount. We'll give you a general amount based on what ethnicity you are. Like based on how much bad things you've experienced in your life. That's what we're going to do. How do we calculate that? Well, we're not going to be biased. We're just human beings. Human beings have no bias. We're not going to give it to people who like vote for us or something. Why would we do that? We're not going to. Come on, guys. We're trying to help all people. Sorry, I had some fun with that for a sec. We want to convert a little fun account. I'm jealous of you and Richard. I want to be your new sugar daddy. Richard, you have competition now. All right. This guy wants in on our lottery stocks YOLO plays that never work out. Oh man. Oh shit. The socialist millionaires are my favorite. Yeah, fucking, yeah, let's vote for Bernie, the guy who has $2 million beach houses. Cut up but not toasted. Cut up but not toasted. You ain't cutting up that sandwich you're toasting. Hey, thanks for being here today, buddy. Isn't that the definition of a casino? Hey, you guys, we got good attitudes in the chat today. I like it. LMAO, what's up, dude? You don't cut up that grilled cheese before you dip it in some tomato, some tomato soup. You don't grill it. You don't cut that up. You just raw dog a square. Can't be raw dog in a square. You got to cut it into little triangles so it's the optimal shape for dipping. What's Saw say? Trading has ruined your sleep. Extend out the time frames, and your sleep will get a lot better. You're a gobbler. Yeah, that's actually a big thing, and finding out when you're good, right? Some people like to trade during retail hour. They like to fade the opening move a lot of the time. And then a lot of people who like to say, maybe not even day trade, but extend it out just a tiny, tiny bit, or day trade in a different fashion, would make a decision at the end of the day, sell it in the morning. Why such a strong push down? Momentum told you everything you need to know, Hien. Should we go over it real quick again? You guys want to see it? GME, 2-hour divergence at the high, 2-hour divergence confirmed. Around this area, we were suggesting, hey, GME needs to do something good here. This is great for the price. It needs to do something good. Did it ever do something good? No. What does this signal mean? It means that a daily chart is going to cross. What happened? The daily chart crossed the next day. We got the daily chart to cross. We are breaking to the downside here, so you can catch a bounce. That is likely to hold as resistance now. If you're lucky, whips back up, but right now, hold as resistance. Your target pretty much for this, I would say short, is $25. Right, because this is a short setup. Now you're seeing what? 5-minute divergence pop up where? At the bottom of the zone. We'll see if the 30-minute can turn this thing around for a second. See if it can hold up better. That's still good. If it can hold up better, that's good. But right now it looks like what? Bam, bam, bam could take place. Then you end up down here. So what you're looking for now is the daily pullback opportunity, right? You see something bad, you acknowledge that it's bad, and you're like, how can I make money from it in the future, right? Because if you're paying attention on here, 2-hour divergence, right? 2-hour divergence here, 2-hour divergence here. So, all right. Let's see if that daily gets down to this type of area, starts to turn back up, and go to the upside. Daily's very positive. It's just you're in patience mode now. You're breaking the bottom of the zone too. That's pretty damn bearish. At least for the time being. It's bearish in this move, right? We're still positive. Right? This could just be a massive retrace, if you will. Right? Let's see. Bam. 2460. Great level. Really good level. Even 2450. 2450 is still good. It takes you right in the middle of all this crap in here. It's good. An equal low there as well. So you have the low over here. That'd be 2450 would be great. What do we do? Did we do anything crazy while it's gone? Ooh, man, it's slow. I'm trying to hang out with you guys a little longer because I wanted to see it. It's building though. Ooh, building. Eey. Break up or break down? Maybe a break up, then break down. I'm gonna see if we got to be quick with it. Where do you think IWM finishes today? I think you'll see one more downward move for all the indices. Can't see your plans were way more fun. Oh, wait, did you leave a gap just there? Did you just leave a gap here? You just left a sneaky little gap here. Uh-oh, unfinished business. Very sneaky unfinished business with this upward move. Let's see it. Let's see it. Now we have a very obvious block to retest. That's great. Very obvious block. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if this thing wants to go higher. Very obvious. Very obvious. Let's see if we want to head higher. Let's mark off that for a moment because we're probably going to revisit that at some point to fill it, which means watch. We just got a breakout. Maybe we get this little retest. That would actually be very cool. I want to see if that happens. Not guaranteed. But something small like this. Just really confirm like, hey, this block means upside. Okay, confirm it by retesting it real quick, seeing a buy come in. But we are centimeters away. We are millimeters away. I kind of hope to see the extension now, just see it fade. Ugh. Ugh, I just stretched out. Pop the back. Oh. We're gonna see this. Okay. This may be a 1 minute retest. We'll see. I'm not gonna go into a 1 minute though. I'm not a degen enough. I'm not degen enough. Why do we call it a gap if wicks do fill the gap? The wick didn't fill the gap. That's why I was zooming in really close. The price here closed 560.68. The low here 561.11. It did not fill it. We are 5/8 of an inches away. Yeah, I want to see it go down there. Come on, come on, come on. Two, double. Looking good. Musty's thinking about making the shift. Like I said, I'm still looking at 562.50. I'd really like this I'd really like just to go down and grab that gap real quick. And then we can use this zone later, by the way. This is a good thing. We have a thing here. We have a block now. That's great. So if we see this, we go boom, boom, or even worse, roll, see if we take it back, right? But if we're losing this now, we use as resistance. That's how you get down to potentially even 555. Still looking at that this range in here though, as a potential level to catch up to. Janai, thank you so much for joining today. Appreciate you being here, bud. VIX turning back up. I'm gonna go check on VIX. VIX still looking for the move to about 2365. It broke through 24. You think 2395 a little bit? Yeah, you're looking like you're getting towards that center line, so if you're gonna roll and see this thing go to 555, you'd probably want that sooner rather than later. Hey, that's awesome, Janai. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate you being here, okay? Hang out, We'll be live later today, too, for the close. I'm trying to stay on for a little bit here. Yeah, so, Tony, I'm taking into consideration the 2395 with timing here, the timing of it. Because the 30 mark here, pretty important. Like the 11:30, 10:30 time, 10:30 for me, 11:30 for a lot of you guys probably. We did test into the zone. That's a good thing. We did at least get the test into the zone, not the gap. If we leave that behind, I'd look for that later. I think that's going to be unfinished business later. All right. All right. Make the new high here. Let's see if we make the new high. Make the new high, still open to retest in that zone as much as it wants, right? We don't want to act like it has to do anything, but if you make the new high, it says 562.50, definitely on the table. Let's look again where gap fill is. Gap fill, the close here of 563.53. But 563.53, anything above that, the timing would be more so leaning towards a higher low, I think, at that point, or the 5-minute, right? You can set a trap. You can set a trap. We'll look out for that. I don't think that's the most probable at this point. I don't think you'll see a trap. I don't think you'll see a divergence trap. I think the trap would just be reversal in the regular trend here. So you might only have a few minutes left for positivity, like a few, meaning like 30 minutes. And then we'll probably see some volatility kick in. I think they could fill gap. I do think they could still do 564, 564.50 to make like a big, big trap, but that would, the timing of it would be off. So weirdly enough, rolling from here or flash move to 563 would make a lot of sense. Like a squeeze higher, get the shorts to freak out, and then just immediately rip that thing to the downside. Balance here crashing hard. Looking for that around $95 now. Keeping it simple, daily pullback. You need to get out of here and do your thing. I really do. But I want to see if this sets up. I think it's a pretty simple-ish thing. Because anywhere around 562, you're pretty much like, hey, where did we not test? We did not test this at all again. So I think you're pretty much like, hey, even if you get to here, the higher low would take place somewhere around here or here if it's really good. If it's going to, say, give it all up, then you would look for that move, the structure, or a roll right now. But we're just chilling. We're just consolidating at the top of the zone. That's not a bad thing. Like, just be aware of that. This isn't like a bad thing yet. Right now, just please take Soxhole at 1193, 15% move. We'll be at around 130 short start closing. Ari's running around screaming up there. He's screaming and running around. Oh, God. Kids, man. All right. Decisions start to be made here. Look for us to, did we get to gap? No, we still want to leave that behind for now. Let me zoom out a little bit. I want you guys to be able to see more. We did take back the 5. Good stuff. We can now use this if this starts to, right? Well, remember the roll. The roll is, does this start to point down? If that starts to point down, we ride that thing down. Just like over here. Look over here. See how it rolls? Rolls. What do we do? Wick, 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 wick. Bam. We're literally digging into the 5-minute, and I'm staying live longer right now because there is that Rocky Balboa, that is that Rocky thing to be aware of, right? We want to make sure. Okay, good. Ooh, did you get there? Didn't get there, so still leaving it behind. Make sure you understand that that's there. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This might be it. We'll see. I've been sitting, waiting, wishing. So you're gonna get a double bottom. Yeah, you're looking for kind of like this, right? It's the same thing as over here. It's the same exact thing as right here is what you're gonna be looking for in like a 5-minute time frame. You're gonna be looking for this or this, right? So either double bottom or the higher low on a 5-minute time frame. And that'll tell you some direction going forward. Here we go. 562.50, first point to pay attention. After that, gap fill, 563.53. Pretty much you're looking for, do we get above it? Do we stay below it? It will be lower low, yes, but double bottom can be considered. I mean, double bottom in the form of divergence would more so be what I'm talking about. Right? I think we're going to make the lower low, but in a way, it might wick to seem like double bottom. So I understand how people could call it double bottom. I mean, if we really think about it, I mean, that is 2 points roughly. So that's a decent amount of distance. No, now, Tony. All right, we went up to, did we make it to 562? No 562 yet. It's weird that this is getting right to like where the risk starts to pile on. Look at this. Like right in the gap, right in the flush, right in the support, right in the support again. 563, pretty much 562, 563 to 562.50 is just the area where I'm going to start paying attention very seriously. Oh man, but if you roll just right now, you should still, from what I'm looking at, we did this. It wasn't enough, so we did this. It was enough to make the new high. Ooh, wait a second. That's a little bit more than you want to see. Okay, no new low, no new high yet on this bar. Chilling. Bitcoin's still looking weak. Bitcoin actually looks like it might make a turnaround soon. 2-hour confirming right now. So that tells you that you're about to maybe see the 4-hour move up. Watching out for consolidation. Consolidation here, not your friend. Not your friend. You want to see it take back that 5, go test that high. That's what you want to do. If you test that high and you only hit the lower end and you roll down, you're still looking like this. All right. So this is saying you're going to see a positive move or keep moving sideways. Sideways is not your friend here. I don't think sideways is your friend here. So the 2 hours suggesting that you're going to see this. If we see this, it's bad. If you see this, it's bad. If you see this, it's bad. What you need to see upside is you got to take back all, you got to go high. You got to violate all this. You got to violate this. You got to start rejecting all of what's going on the charts. I think Bitcoin will do it though. I think Bitcoin will still do well. I'm not that bearish on Bitcoin just yet. I need to see a bigger rejection than that. Okay, it started to pick up steam just for a moment. It settled down. That's good. Yeah, a lot of bad. But don't sleep on the fact that I'm still looking at Bitcoin on like a daily time frame, and you have the daily curl down, so you could experience a daily pull back. And this is why I think like the market is at risk of seeing downside. But overall, you've broken through what? You've broken through the bottom half here. That's a good thing. You just want to see that test of here. See that resistance come in, take it back. You want to eventually see this taken back. I'm not like bearish on Bitcoin. I think if anything, this will be a pullback down to lower levels. This is a time. If you take into consideration what we looked at with the head and shoulders here, I know we were zoomed in. It looks massive, but look at this. What does that mean? Well, if that even set up, like I could extend it more, but you're pretty much seeing like, okay, 89. Maybe we do go for the retest down into here. But overall, you're just like, okay, would this be really bad? No. Are you going to see it right now? The 2 hour is saying no. You're going to see a 4 hour push higher. So paying attention to the next move is important. The daily would be crossed down today. Okay. Just holding. Just holding. Come on, flash move to 562. Get people nice and bullish. Let's see PCC neutral. That's good. 87, that's good. 88, 87, that's good. Another idea, I don't know how to really play calls with because it moves slower as Dixie find its strength soon. Jake, take a look at oil. Try to look at oil and see if you're seeing something just a little bit better. Dollar and oil kind of like each other. Sometimes they're distant cousins, you know. Take a look at oil. USOIL would be the place with the great signal. USO would be the ticker. Tick tock, don't stop. Tony about to catch the top. Gonna take some nice shorts just for the next drop. Oh, Tony, what a banger. Good job, Tony. Tony's really loving the chat today. I like it. It's fun. Don't let him force you guys out of chat. Uh-oh. Well, that's more than you want to see. There you go. Remember we still have that sneaky gap? And we're still above here. We could retest all the way in the center. We want to see if this is going to break down. Well, then, boom, boom. If you just flushing is not a horrible thing. Let them see something garbage. And then bounce that thing up 555 maybe. All right, test in the center, fill in the gap. Okay. First scare. We'll see if people buy that scare back up. Sometimes the first one is just the first little scare. Okay, we did violate the center there. You like USO to go up? I haven't looked at USO specifically. I'll look at it on my chart, see if it adds up to the same thing. VIX is finding that support. We'll see. USO, let me see if it's showing it. 30-minute time frame suggested up. 2 hour is suggesting up. Daily time frame is crossing with the price action. So yes, USO, looking for USO to get to $70 at the least. If not, go test into, yeah, $70 is very important. You take that back, you're looking for 75, 74.50 to be exact. Yeah, it's showing it. Okay, you're giving up the center here. So it looks like we're going to roll this down. Looking for the bounce in the zone. Looking for the rejection show its face in the zone if we're really heading down. I know it's all scribbly. I apologize. Looking for this. Looking for this. This would be the biggest hint, right? Lose here, come down to here, see that next rejection? That might be on a 1 minute chart. Yeah, you're dumping this. Now we got to see if next bounce would be expected here if we break through the entire zone. Bounce, bounce, bounce. We got to see if this is still not going to reach up to 562.50 though. I was looking at it wrong. Oh, that's fine, Varma. It's perfectly fine to double check, right? I want to, you made me zoom into it because I thought I was wrong. So don't think it's a bad thing. It's perfectly fine, Varma, to bring it up and ask. Yeah, that unfinished business there. Now we have to see if that unfinished business was taken care of, and we're still going to see 562.50. It still is possible. We did not reach the bottom of the zone. Even if it reaches the bottom of the zone, it's possible. What we're looking for is the behavior in here. See if we break out of that zone. And then if you get a bounce from like 559.20 and then you reject off that zone, that would be a bigger deal. I still think we might have the time. We might. Very, very clear here. We are starting to do what on the 9 on the 5 minute? We're rolling. We're starting to roll, right? So we need to see this thing snap back before the 9-day just goes like this fully. You're pretty much at a flat to downward right now. So you need this to be a fake out. Let the people see something good, get them into calls, absolutely rip it away from them, give them a hopium bounce, reject that again. Out to lunch. Richard, have a good lunch. Thank you again for the $100, man. Appreciate it. It pretty much all goes to the wifey or what? Sometimes $100 maybe go to lotto stocks. One of those plays, Richard. Whenever you shout out the next one, I'm doing it with you. Okay, Richard? Let's lose money on those shitty things together. Stop making me jealous. Bro, that we got to get our gambling. We got to get our the degen out of us. So this is great in here. This is pretty great in here. You could almost make a zone right here. See if you get a move and reject off of that, but we're not going to get that tight into it. That's more like 1 minute. If you look 1 minute, you can kind of see that block just above this block. And if you do this and you reject, it's bad. If you do this, right, we see the structure, right? But I don't like 1 minute charts. It's going to make me try to make a decision too early. I'm just going to focus on the SPY. Really, Tony? I'm just really focusing on the SPY. You gotta, sometimes the market's gotta bounce like its ass has the hiccups, right, Wall Street Ponzi? Yeah. Okay, not able to get to the bottom. That's good. That is good. Also, this zone was not made properly. It would probably be that right there. I'm going to include that little wick, but it was slightly off. Which means we broke it even worse, actually. Hopefully we get the sporadic move here. Hopefully you get the surge to 562 and then see the fade. Hey, we got a great chat today. Thank you guys for liking. Thank you guys for being subscribed. A lot of subscribers coming in. Fantastic. Love to see you guys here. You're more than welcome to participate in chat as we are not on subscriber only mode today. Thought about making it subscriber only this week just because of the earnings. I do not like to play earnings. unless you see something very, very obvious. That's true. It's true, Tony. Tech stocks are a big deal. Divergence last week. Last week we were mentioning it. Last week was here, correct? Last week we were mentioning it until we saw breakout. Once you see breakout, you're not mentioning it anymore. Once you saw this, remember this? This is when we stopped talking about the downside. The 5-minute helped us in here. Look at this. 5-minute double bottom. I thought we needed to come down to here. We held up better. Then we go up. We hold this. We break out. That's great. Then you took it through the center, which means bullish things. All right, guys, I'll try to do 10 more minutes here. 10 more minutes, and then I really have to go. Sold most of my calls Friday. Just playing AMD earnings with fun money. I like it, Nicholas. Have some fun with it, you know? We have another subscriber channel other than Patreon. No. No, I meant subscriber only in chat. No, Patreon's Patreon. Sometimes we just do subscriber only on YouTube. That way, all you have to do is be subscribed, right? It's not, yeah. I don't like closing things down behind a paywall. I wouldn't think about doing that until, but you know, we've done the subscriber only thing before just because of spammers. We did that early on when we started doing live video. For some reason, we got a bunch of spammers. We don't see that very much anymore, which is great. I like the fact that people come in and it's been pretty good. Looks like we're starting to see that. It's still flat up here, but you're starting to see this one roll down. Now you're getting confirmations with price action and RSI. So here we go. Looks good. USO still holding. JP Morgan. Oof. Actually, JP Morgan holding very well where it needs to. We'd like to see a squeeze moment and a retest into 250 later for JP Morgan. Let's look at Palantir. Still dumping at this moment. Looking for the bounce to retest 5-day. Then we're looking for that anywhere from 95 to 100 or gap fill towards 9. So 94 to 100 for Palantir would be a good price in my opinion. Options would be a different story there. Just looking for a good price for maybe the swing. Dollar. Ooh, I do not like this from the... Oh, wait, it's a 5-minute chart. My bad. My bad. All right, we are reaching down to the bottom of the zone. What does that open the door to? This move might be done. So now you're looking for, as you hit the bottom, you're looking for retest to the upside. Little retest to the upside. That can be a wick on this charting here, but more 1-minute style. You're looking at these type of things, and you're going, okay, we're looking for those bounces. Now we're looking for what? Failures. Failures. Oh, we broke the downside for a second, too. They showed you the hand. You got shown the hand here. I think the 562.50 is not on the table now. We'll see if it changes, but for the price action we see now, not a good sign. Even if we include that downside, you notice what? If we include that, what did it do? It swept that. You see that little peak outside of it? price action would tell you that that is a hint that whatever bounce you get here, it needs to be a freaking fantastic one, or else you're going to do what? Well, according to your MACD, you're going to set up what? Another lower high for the minute chart, right? Now, I don't trade like this, right? I really don't. I like to spread things out. I like to take my time with it. So the only time I was going to take the trade is if we saw the absolute surge to 563 pretty much. Anywhere from 562.50 to gap fill. Didn't get it. If we do get it soon, it would be a different story now. It would be a different story if we saw price to get to here. I think you would be looking for a lower high. Sorry, higher low down here. But now you're seeing downside right at the right timing. The timing's better. You didn't get the surge moment. So if you build up to there again, I think higher low. For now, you're looking for those 1 minute pops, and most likely we continue to drop. We are looking for retest of what? Center of our zone, right? 560, 82, 561, if it's going to be really good. But just note that the game is it's moving back and forth, right? Now that we have this block, the game was up, retest, up, retest, up. Oh, wait, we lose the middle. Okay, let's see if we can hold up. No, we go to the downside. We even break it a little bit. So now the game is this way. Even though the entire time your MACD was suggesting that the game is which way? That way. Now we look for that 5, pretty much sometime by the end of the day, you're probably getting to 558.46 unless something changes. It has to really show a change. We will today. This is very important. This is really important that this happens. Very important to see if there's a trap at 555, especially. I think it's very important, which means we might see a flush moment at some point. Testing 555 before tomorrow, very important. Before AMD earnings, very important. Yeah, and that's actually a good point Tony's making. This was left behind. Take that into consideration when we're down at 555. Take that into consideration when we're down at 555. Yeah, just treat it like, why is that? Just ask yourself the question, why is this unfinished business here? Why didn't they take care of it like they did yesterday, right? Why? And then you're going to potentially see a divergence down here. And you're going to say, wow, we're outside of the 68% zone. And then you're going to go, wow, this thing could come back into there. Then you're going to possibly see it come back in and see good reactions heading into FOMC. We're watching. And why we are dropping with no bad news? I mean, are they suggesting, the opposite is sometimes what you look for? Is the suggestion now that FOMC won't be that troublesome? That would be interesting. If you ain't first, you're last. Whenever I look at Mr. Joshua's picture, I think of my baby girl. I know I can't tell if it's a girl or boy, but I just see a bald head. Okay. Now, this is still, if we don't get the good reaction from 555, or the reaction is good, we go to gap fill, and we fail again, what are we kind of looking for? 550. What could happen that would be really bad? 545, right? This is why we're looking at a 5-minute chart right now. I'm looking at a 5-minute chart because it is very important to see which direction this really goes in this type of area. Now she's 19. Oh, that's great. I can't wait to see what's in store for me. All right, guys, we're reaching 11 o'clock. It's unfortunate, but hopefully I gave you guys some good insight today. Really just trying to be as helpful as possible. I think you're at an important point where looking at smaller time frames can even help you understand direction just a little bit. I think it can help you out if you want to get micro with it. But ultimately, what are you looking for if you're trying to just be chill about it? You're looking for the 2 hour to pull back. You understand, right? Rocky, we're aware. This would be bad. This, perfectly fine. This, perfectly fine. This, perfectly fine, right? So we're looking at the top of that zone. Any 2 hour reaction that's able to confirm up from that zone, you're probably taking out this high. You may even go, do what? Make a new one. Ooh, we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. I know we were looking at these 5-minute time frames, not something we normally do. Usually, you know, on Rumble, we're looking at this for the end of the day to see that fun sell come in and stuff like that. But hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully we were able to learn something or take something away. But thank you guys for being here today. Thank you guys for liking. Bunch of new subscribers. That's fantastic. We love to see you guys in here. Make sure you feel comfortable, you know, talking and chat and things like that. If you have questions or any ideas that you do have. Tony was spewing out ideas all morning, and I think they were great ideas. So that's fantastic. But thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys later on YouTube for the closing the power hour. And other than that, I hope you just have a good day, right? Trade like water. Pay attention to your signals. Right now, it looks like, hey, you know, we just gave up that upside move to 562. So I think maybe we end up going down to test at least 558.50, if not 555. So thank you guys for being here. Peace out.